She was the symbol of the hopelessly boring yet wonderfully mundane day-to-day life I held so dear. Welcome back to Dear's Irae, and we are nearing the end. This might be a short part, I don't know, but we will see how it ends and what it leads to. Right now we are not really fighting Kazumi, but Kazumi is our puppet and she's attacking us, and we're trying to get her back to normal. Let's see how this goes on. That's right. This spoiled idiot needed to take responsibility for his actions. You'll shame yourself as a man if you don't go after her. Hold her in your arms and comfort her, won't you? Agreed. Any bastard that ran away from this pain and fear was no true man. I was annoyed to be agreeing with her, but I'd come to realize what I had to do. I would get right up to Kazumi without hurting her or fear getting hurt. Then embrace her. I didn't expect to earn her forgiveness with just that, but unfortunately with my brain all out of whack, that was all I could think of. I'd be damned if I let this end the same way I did with Shiro. I wasn't gonna lose anyone else. The dearest, you held something. The dearer, you held something. The more painful it was to realize you'd never get it back once lost. Holding the wrist of my torn right arm, I slowly stood up. I had already lost a severe amount of blood, but none of it mattered. I took a step, and another. Completely ignoring the flying invisible blade, I began to approach Kazumi, even if my arms, legs, and even head were sliced off. I wasn't gonna piss my pants at the sight of this fake guillotine. If I was its true master, then it had no place attacking like it was better than me. Quit taking girls as shields and give me back Kazumi. You belong to me. She's got nothing to do with any of this. Right as I said that. Why? Kazumi abruptly began to mutter something. Why is it always like this? She spoke in such a quiet voice I had trouble picking it all up, but her tone carried energy too. It felt something like the monotone manner of speaking she'd used up until now. It felt nothing. She raised her chin, looked into my eyes, and... Why? Why do you always say things like that? Why are you always so considerate to me? I don't want it. It doesn't make me happy at all. Kazumi uttered the words like in a delirium, but her voice was steady, a hint of a smile on her lips. Her eyes were still as hazy and lifeless as before, her expression lost on the boundary between sanity and madness. Hey, am I really that bad at reading the mood? Do I just get in the way when it really counts? Am I completely useless? Is there nothing I can do? Is there no way I can ever help you? It's a bit frustrating, you know. Even when something troubles you, you never tell me. Were those your true feelings?
シロいなくなっちゃったし、レン態度に出さなくてもきっと辛いんだと思ったから、私頑張ろうと思ったんだよ。
Shiro vanished, and though you didn't let it show, I figured you had to be suffering, so I tried my best, you know?
だからいつも考えてたの。どうしたらレンは喜んでくれるのかな。どうしたらレンは笑ってくれるのかな。どうしたらレンは私を。
That's why I always thought about how I could make you happy, how I could make you smile, how I could make you look at me.
態度よそよそしいんだもん。冗談でごまかしたって私分かっちゃうんだもん。
You act distant. I know, you always try to cover it up with jokes.
私をすぐのけ者にしたり。
Oh, you're prone to leaving me out of the loop.
そんなのは嫌だよ。
I don't want that.
すみ。
Kazumi. The decapitating gale died down. My body might have stopped receiving wound after wound, but her words pierced my heart like a spear.
シローの時と同じだよ。関係ないって私に何も教えてくれない。
It was the same when that incident happened with Shiro. You just said it was none of my business and refused to tell me anything.
ねえ、どうして？
Tell me, why is that? That wasn't something I could answer. Because I felt it was something she couldn't get involved with. I'd never once taken her presence lightly, ever. Quite the opposite. It was because I valued her that I...
同じだよ。
It's the same.
私いつも悔しかった。
I was always frustrated.
私はいつも蚊帳の外に置き去りで、シローとレンが羨ましい。
I
was always jealous of you and Shiro for leaving me out of the loop.
俺とあいつはお前がそんなこと考えるような。
We never tried to do anything to make you feel that way.
それでも羨ましかったの。
But I was still constantly jealous.
形なんかどうでもいい。ただ特別なんだってことが羨ましいの。憧れるの。私もそこに入りたかったの。
It doesn't matter how you did it. I was just jealous that the two of you shared something I never did with either of you. I wanted to be part of it too.
だから頑張って頑張って頑張って頑張って。でもどうしていいかわからなくてわからなくてわからなくてわからなくて。
So I kept on trying and trying and trying and trying, but I simply didn't know what to do. I was lost and confused.
だったらせめて私は自分にできることをやりたいって。何か一つ何でもいいから私にしかできないことでレンの力になれたらいいなって。
So at the very least I wanted something I could do. It really didn't matter what, as long it was something, anything that I could do to help you out.
ずっとずっとあんたが入院してから今までずっと
That's
そんなことを考えてたらね。
been on my mind ever since you were hospitalized, right up to this very day. Kazumi sounded like she was about ready to break down in tears. There was nothing wrong with anything she said. She simply worried over not being able to find a way. Most people were like that. There was no easy way to tell what the best possible choice was in a given situation. Therefore, you consider foreknowledge supreme. As Kazumi wondered, lost and confused, which part of the unknown she ought to take. Something extraordinary. Something that should have been left alone. Something no child of man should have lent on an ear to, flooded into the crevice of her heart and mind like a venom.
私こんなになっちゃったよ。
I ended up like this. My vision wavered, my breathing stopped. I found myself struck with the urge to rip my heart out of my chest. My rage had reached a critical peak. I gritted my teeth to the point of breaking them, causing cracks to spread all across my jawbone. I couldn't forgive myself for driving her to this state. And likewise, I couldn't forgive this powerlessness of mine. And so I made a heartfelt wish. A wish for power. Power that could save her. Oblivious to what that truly meant.
私今ならレンの力になれるよね。
But now I can help you, right? She unleashed another decapitating slash. It approached the nape of my neck, rushing up from the lower left. I could clearly make out the trail left by the path of its slash from start to finish. But I didn't dodge. There was no need to. For this had belonged to me from the very beginning. I had to claim it for my own, in order to ensure that Kazumi never did something like this ever again. What? And so, what I heard next was not the sound of cleaving flesh, but that of Kazumi's astonished gasp. The invisible guillotine soaring through the air evaporated a split second before it reached my neck.
なんで
Why? Once again, the invisible blade soared towards me from every angle imaginable. Left, right, diagonal, or above. All at pretty much the same time. Its only aim, my exposed neck.
嘘
No way. In all honesty, I did nothing. But for some reason, the blade wouldn't reach me. I wasn't doing it consciously. I didn't try to make it happen, but right now, for some reason, as if it was completely natural. I caught the flash coming from the side with my slashed right hand, but my arm was not severed. Instead, the wound closed up around the blade, melting with it.
なんでどうして
Why? Wait, how? I had no idea. However, there was one thing I could say for
お
sure.
前にこれ以上そんなことをしてほしくないんだよ。
I don't want you to do this anymore.
力にならずっと前からなってるよ。お前が分かってないだけで俺ずいぶん救われてる。
If you're worried about helping me, you've been doing that for a long time now. You've no idea how much you've done for me already. I wasn't lying. In particular, her presence over the past few days kept my mind stable. She was the symbol of the hopelessly boring yet wonderfully mundane day-to-day life I held so dear. A ray of sunlight I never wished to be robbed
お
of.
前がそこにいてくれないと俺は帰ってこれなくなる。
I won't have a place to go back to if you're not there.
だから頼むよ。お前はこっちに来ないでくれ。わがまま言って悪いけど、そうしてくれなきゃ俺はこの先。
So please, stay where you are. I hate to be so selfish, but if you don't, I wouldn't be able to fight those freaks. Regardless of what it took, I wouldn't be able to teach those bastards a lesson for laying waste to our day-to-day lives.
じゃあ
Then, once Kazumi was up close, she looked up into my eyes before continuing. And just for a moment, I saw a look of self-mockery on her face.
私はやっぱり蚊帳の外ってことじゃないの。
So I really am being left out, aren't I? The moment she muttered that, all strength left her body. I reached out, catching her before she could fall.
なんかもうバカみたい。
Ah, this is all so ridiculous. Okay. This looks weird. This is also ridiculous. Our bodies were cold, perhaps due to the continuous downpour, yet the little warmth that did reach me felt wonderful beyond expression.
ごめんな、本当。こんなことになっちまって。許してくれとか言えないよな。
I'm so sorry. I mean it. I won't ask you to forgive me for putting you through this.
大丈夫だから心配するな。あとは全部俺が絶対なんとかするから。
But it's okay now. So don't worry. I'll take care of all the rest. Promise.
例のバカ。
You idiot.
結局全然わかってないよ。
In the end, you really are clueless about everything.
私、あんたが一人で無茶するの。もうやめてって言ってるのに。
I thought I told you to stop pushing yourself all on your own.
どうして譲ってくれないかな。
Why won't you listen to me?
仕方ないだろ。勝負なんだ。
I can't help it. It's just in my nature. I knew it to be a cliché, but I couldn't help but feel like this was the nature of men. They were cowards who would try to act tough, but on a show of false bravado, played cool and even take a bullet for a girl. I couldn't let it be the other way around. I couldn't accept someone like that as a man, nor would I see any value in their lives. In the end, we found no answer for the endless argument between Kazami's dissatisfaction and my wish. But the one thing I could say for a fact was that above all else, we both shared the same fear of losing that which we cared about. In that case, I had but one thing to do. I had no idea if she'd believe what I was about to tell her, given how many promises I'd broken until this point, but
帰ってくるから。
I'll come back. Saying that, making a sworn oath, was all I could do right now.
絶対俺戻ってくるから。お前はなんていうか、留守守っててくれると助かるな。
I swear, I'll be back, so if you could watch my place, I'd appreciate it.
もう
Jeez,
勝手なことばっかり。
you're always so selfish.
ほんと面倒だよね。
You
こう
really,
いうの。
you really are a pain at times.
だけどそんな連だから私はきっと。
Yeah, ski. I know. But that's when Kazumi's voice sounded peaceful now, almost like an evil spirit that had been exorcised from her. As I felt her in my embrace, I felt something from her body enter mine. It flooded into my cut right arm, sealing up the wound like it was driving a wedge into it. I felt the sensation of a foreign object entering my arm, the sensation of receiving power, coupled with the dread of no longer being truly human. More importantly, I was relieved that Kazumi no longer had it. I had no more reason to worry. Kazumi was no longer involved with this.
絶対勝手にいなくならないでよ。約束だから。
You'd better not go vanishing on your own. You promised me. As Kazumi finally lost consciousness, I firmly embraced her body, so I would never forget her warmth, so I could never lose this resolve. Tonight, I had obtained power and stepped out of the sunlight and into the shadow. Da-da-da-dum.
そして彼と彼女はつがいとなった。
And thus the two of them were joined.
喜んでもらえるかな、マルグリット。そして我が親愛なる獣殿。
Margarita, as well as my most respected beastly companion, were you both pleased to behold a performance so exquisite?
これより彼は私の代替として機能する。このシャンバラにスワスチカを完成させ、怒りの火を演出する。
He shall henceforth act as my substitute. The swastikas of Shambhala shall be completed, ushering in the day of wrath.
まあ最もいささか前とは多難であるが。
Albeit, the journey ahead shall be one paved with hardship and peril.
これ以上の介入は無粋であろうし、私はおとなしく観客に身を約そう。
Yet it should be imprudent of me to intrude any further. I vow to remain in the gallery as a spectator, where I belong.
差し当たって問題があるとすればクリストフだが。
The only problem at present remains what we should do with Christoph.
素晴らしい。
How wonderful.
あの男もまたどうして私の好みに合うか。
That man, too, suits my tastes quite splendidly.
実に有意義。これで第一のスワスチカが完成し、副資料閣下の穴も埋まりました。準備はおおむね整ったと言えるでしょう。
How truly lucrative. The first swastika has now been completed and the vacancy left behind by His Excellency the Vice Commander filled. You could say that preparations are all in order.
ああ、いや。しかしまだ早いしまだ甘い。あとほんの少しだけ最低でも形勢を覚えるくらいにはなっていただかないと困るのですが、どうでしょうね、そのあたり。
Ah, no, but that would be too hasty, too naive. He will be in much trouble unless he goes at least a touch further and attains Yetzira. But how will that go? Trifa clapped with excess enthusiasm as he beheld the guillotine. The blade had vanished. The priest was bleeding an unnatural amount of blood from his hand, feet, and flank. He wasn't injured, no. This was his stigma, a type of infectious spiritual ailment caused by a higher will. Wherein lay the cause of this phenomenon? True, the priest was bleeding in the exact same places as Christ during his crucifixion, yet Trifa himself was by no means a sacred man. Furthermore, the museum's air was stagnant with something sinister, something indescribable. For instance, indeed, like a burnt field left behind by a bombing that robbed hundreds and thousands of their lives, the stench of death, no, not unlike that of abandoned battlefields, lingered heavy in the air. Perhaps calling it a swirling mist of miasma would be a touch more apt. No man possessed of sane mind would wish to remain here for any longer than a handful of seconds.
レオンハルトの報告次第になりますが、場合によっては間を置かず、次のスワスチカを起こすことになるやもしれません。となれば、誰を捧げるのが望ましいか。
I cannot be certain until Leonhard reports back, but depending on the situation, it may not be long before the next Vastika awakens. Should that come to pass, we need to prepare suitable sacrifice.
正直私もそろそろ馬鹿し合いには疲れてきているのですがね。
And to be honest, I too am growing tired of playing cat and mouse. Blood kept trickling down from his wounds without halt, spreading all across the floor. The amount he had lost would no doubt kill a lesser man, yet no Not only did the priest exhibit no signs of collapsing, he stared ecstatically at his own stigmata. This was an oath, something to be proud of, the marks of submission inflicted upon his flesh by the lance of Longinus Holt in the night. For it was a sign of loyalty carved into him by their lord and master, the golden beast.
このうずき、いずれハイドリ秘境がお戻りになられる。その時、醜態を晒さぬよう気を引き締めて参りましょ
う。This ache, Lord Heydrich, shall soon return. Let us act accordingly, so as not to allow any disgraceful behavior when that time comes.
何せ、61年ぶりになるのですから、不手際があって処刑されてはたまりません。
After all, it would be unbearable to face execution after 61 years, all owing to little carelessness. The priest reverently made the sign of the cross, the way his words were uttered betraying a touch of intentionality.
主よ、彼らに永遠の安息を与え、絶えざる光もて照らしたまえ。
O Lord, grant them eternal rest and let thy everlasting light shine upon them.
褒め歌を捧げるはシオンにてふさわしく、主への請願はエルサレムにて果たされん。
May you find our song of praise worthy of Zion and grant our plea for the promised land.
我が祈りを聞きたまえ。生きとし生けるもの、すべては主に帰せん。
Hear my praise, and may all living things return to the Lord.
彼らに永遠の安息を与え、絶えざる光もて照らしたまえ。
Grant them eternal rest, and let thy everlasting light shine upon them. His requiem broke the silence. Whoever the addressed may have been, one thing remained clear and evident, that the miasma blanketing the place grew denser and denser by the second.
今宵はここまで。
And that is all for tonight.
さあ、忙しくなります。面白くなります。前座はこれで終わりました。
This will soon become quite busy. Things and just as fascinating. Things will soon become quite busy and just as fascinating. So now, if this sentence makes sense, this marks the end of the opening act.
楽しみましょう。歌いましょう。踊りましょう。力の限り。
Let us sing and dance and rejoice till we have strength no more.
ちわくちわく。胸が高鳴る。では一刻も早く次なる手を打たなければいけませんね。
My blood is boiling, my heart is pounding. Well now, let us make haste and prepare for what is to come, shall we? Turning around, the tall priest left in a hurry. His inability to restrain laughter, likely a sign that war had, or at long last, come to the town of Suvahara. Okay. And so I carried the unconscious Kazumi back home. It's still going on. Okay. I was thinking that it would end after that. But I guess it's still going on, and I don't want to track this part on any longer. I think you suffered enough. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time. Likely with the last part. So, let's see what happens. Bye bye!